Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the second Unresolved Problems segment tonight. Who should get federal money earmarked for faith-based groups? There's controversy because some controversial religious groups, like the Krishnas, want in. Joining us now from Boston is Steve Hassan, a former member of the Unification Church, the Moonies, who now counsels cult members. He's the author of the book, Releasing the Bonds, Empowering People to Think for Themselves. This is a real difficult story. I'll tell you why. All of the groups on the front lines of the controversy, the Moonies, the Unification Church, Scientology, and the Krishnas, the three most well-known, all do good things as well as dubious things, do they not?
Well, I definitely would say that, in my experience, the Moonies, Scientology, and the Hare Krishnas have done more things to harm people than to help people.
All right, that's your opinion.
Yes.
But, you know, you have the Washington Times, which is a paper that does very good reporting, that's owned by Sun Myung Moon. You have the Scientologists, who have a very strict code against drug and alcohol and who have gotten a lot of addicts cleaned up. And you have the Krishnas, who do work with the indigent and the poor. And all three of those organizations are saying, look, we are recognized religions, although I don't know where the Unification Church stands because they got in a lot of trouble. And we want in on any of this faith-based stuff because we help out. So how do you answer that?
Well, I basically believe that groups should be evaluated based on their behaviors and not on their beliefs. I think we have a right in this country to believe whatever we want to believe. If we want to think Sun Myung Moon is 10 times greater than Jesus Christ, that's fine. My problem is with groups that use systematic deception and mind control to undermine people's ability to think for themselves.
All right, but what's your mind control is somebody else's liberation. Here's an example. Scientology uses a e-meter thing, and they basically try to get a person clear of their past problems. That's their philosophy or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what they claim. But
so they claim.
No proof whatsoever.
No, and I wouldn't.
Proof to the contrary.
I wouldn't go. Well, I don't know about that, but I wouldn't go in there. That's not for me. Yet you'll have a person like Tom Cruise or somebody else who comes out. He doesn't look like a lunatic and says, "Hey, they helped me out." And they have a whole legion of people who used to be drug addicts who come out and say, this agency got me clean. So when you say they're bad, they can trot out people who say they're good. Now, I want everybody to make up their own mind, but if I'm the government and I'm a judge, right, I'm in a terrible predicament here, am I not?
Well, I don't think so, because essentially I think we should use the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a guideline, and I think that we should apply the same kind of fair practices of telling people up front who they are, what they believe, and what they want from them. And that if a group is making claims that it can cure cancer, it's got to demonstrate that it can cure cancer. And we know for a fact, for example, with the Lisa McPherson case in Clearwater, Florida, here was a woman who wanted to leave the premises of a Scientology facility. For 17 days, she was held against her will.
All right, and they got in trouble for it and all of that. But
yeah, and they are still in trouble for it.
I'm a Roman Catholic, all right? Now,
I'm a Jew.
You just pointed out something in Scientology that was embarrassing to Scientology and that they were found culpable for. I can point to many incidents within the Catholic Church, and we all know about them, that the Catholic Church is culpable for. That doesn't mean the Catholic Church should be denied faith-based funds or it's a bad organization. It is not.
Absolutely not. But see, I am not aware that the Catholic Church or legitimate religious groups use deception systematically to recruit people to raise money.
It's hard, though. It's hard to prove that deception deal. You know,
I don't think it is.
I'll tell you why it's hard. You were a Moonie, okay?
Yes, I was for 2.5 years.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
You came out. Did you sue them?
I didn't. No.
Okay, now wait. If they had deceived you and did harm to you in a civil court, you could have taken them to the cleaners. Very hard to prove your case.
In fact, there was a former member that sued successfully the Malco case, and the judge did find that they used systematic deception in their recruitment. I definitely want to point out that groups like the Moonies and Scientology are fantastically wealthy, and they have abused the legal system of our country so much so that little people have had a hard time trying to get their cases heard. And basically,
absolutely,
these big
they
groups
have big
wear you
dollars
down.
and big lawyers, but they've succeeded in getting themselves classified as religions. So now you have President Bush coming out in an initiative that I support, by the way, to saying that federal money is going to flow into faith-based groups. Now, you know you know the Scientologists are going to be first online going, hey, here we are, let's go. You can tell me that a federal judge is going to say no, they're not going to get it, yet the Jews, the Catholics, and the Protestants will?
I think based on a group's behaviors, based on the fact that I think we can demonstrate systematic patterns of deception and abuse of human rights, I do believe, and that's why at first I was horrified, Bill, about this faith-based initiative. But the more I think about it, it's going to force into the public domain a discussion about destructive mind control cults, whether it's religious, political, therapy, or commercial in orientation. And I think the average consumer is going to benefit.
Well, maybe, but the litigation will be tied up forever. Now, what would you, I know you wouldn't give them any money, but as soon as you deny them money, they're going to file. They're going to file a federal lawsuit saying being discriminated against.
I think they might file, but I honestly do not think they want to go into a court of law and have to face up to facts. We know, for example, when Scientology was on the cover story of Time magazine, Scientology, the Cult of Greed, they spent tens of millions of dollars litigating against Time, and the result in the courts was that Time reported responsibly, and Scientology had to take that heat.
But what I'm saying is, you might not win, they might not win, but it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a big, big, big mess. And it's a shame because this initiative could help a lot of people, but it's not going to be smooth sailing. They've got to include these groups or there's going to be all kinds of litigation in terror.
Well, I think everyone should apply, but I definitely believe that there needs to be a standard based on behaviors, not on beliefs, of whether a group supports our Constitution and our Bill of Rights.
We'll see what happens, Steve, and we appreciate your time tonight very much.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye. A lot of lawyers involved in that one, boy. And next, a regular guy.